cause this climate change, and we have to take the responsibility for it. Especially farmers and foresters experience it already every day. And so one thing is clear. We have to do everything to stop climate change. So besides doing everything to stop it, we have to adopt to it.
Welcome back to Planet Earth, Our Loving Home, featuring Mr. Nikolai Fuchs, who recently gave a presentation in Formosa or Taiwan entitled Nature Conservation from the Point of View of Climate Change. The lecture was sponsored by the spiritual group Universe, Love, Light. While in Formosa or Taiwan, Mr. Fuchs took time from his busy schedule to speak with Supreme Master Television about climate change. Mr. Fuchs next discusses water conservation in the context of the severe weather patterns now being seen around the world due to global warming.
The biggest issues we have in the future is drought and flood. It's water and dryness. So we have to think about water harvesting and storaging.
Nikolai Fuchs expanded on this point in his interview.
Firstly, we have to look on the water, because we have a strong bipolarity between dryness and water. The weather extremes become more to the one or to the other. So I would start with the water. I would start with building ponds to hold it back, make water harvesting, or digging ditches into regions where the water is scarcity, for example.
For dry areas, organic matter is key to retaining sufficient water resources within the soil.
That is the most important message, because organic matter enhances the ability of soil to keep the water. So you might bring it directly wherever you have it, or you make compost heaps and bring this to specific places. But the organic matter content of the soil helps the soil to keep the water. You have to close the roofs so that the shadow of the forest is kept. So then you can keep the humidity. And to enhance that, it is very advisable to do it in several layers. So you have a top layer of the biggest trees, and then you have a medium layer, for example, and then you have a low layer of herbs and whatsoever. If you plant it like this, then you have an optimate climate in the forest or in the ecosystem you want to conserve. But most important, keep the roof closed. Because animals, they are the decompositors of nature. So all the dying leaves and tree trunks and whatsoever, they are all decomposited by animals. The animals have this role in the whole ecosystem cycle. So animals help to bring back organic plant material into the soil, like the earthworm. He builds up humus. That is the most valuable stuff to keep water or for carbon sequestration. So animals play an important role, and we have to manage it that they can play this role.
Organic matter is generated differently depending on the overall temperature of the environment. Nikolai Fuchs suggests that, as our planet warms, one adaptation strategy might be for humans to help in the process of creating organic matter to benefit an ecosystem.
For example, in tropical forests, most of the biomass is above the soil. In more temperate climates, most of the biomass is in the soil and not above the soil. We might have to think about even composting processes in forests. And we might even have to think about importing organic substance into drier regions of forests.
Mr. Fuchs next discusses the relationship between a meat-free diet and the heating of our planet.
The more vegetarian, the better for the climate. That's for sure. less meat brings less greenhouse gas emissions to the atmosphere, because on the one hand, the animals themselves emit gases. For instance, the ruminants, they emit methane. Methane is 23 times more climate relevant than CO2. And at the same time, the food which is grown for the animals, that costs energy, and energy costs pollution. So out of these two reasons, we are good advised, very good advised, to reduce our meat consumption.
Our sincere thanks go to Mr. Nikolai Fuchs for sharing his ideas on mitigating and adapting to climate change. May we all work together and adopt compassionate lifestyles to quickly overcome this most central challenge of our times. Thank you, fine viewers, for your kind company on today's episode of Planet Earth, Our Loving Home. Up next is enlightening entertainment after noteworthy news. May your life be imbued with divine love and tranquility.
For more details, please visit www.suprememastertv.com/PE.